Alrighty, it is Sunday evening, y'all. So you know what that means. It's another episode of the Cape Fear Soul Seekers video blog and podcast series. We are at episode 8. Can you believe it? Whew. Another long week. Glad it's Sunday. Glad I've got Mr. Jeff Snyder in the house. Mr. Blanks has other obligations and cannot make it tonight. Although I say that, if he shows up, then we'll just bring him on in. He's more than welcome. So we have so much to talk about. So I'm going to start off with, and we have some breaking news.
Yes.
to
recording.
Yeah, it's recording. Numbers are moving. It's recording.
Okay.
So,
Sorry.
yeah, if you see the little dot lines, or that lets us know it's recording. What's not recording is that. So we have lots to talk about tonight with this series and announcements and breaking news for the episode 8 of the podcast series and video blog. First of all, I'm still going to announce it, even though he can't make it tonight. Mr. Brandon Blanks is also now officially a co-host, an added co-host to the video blog. We're happy to have him on board. What's going on, Tommy and Dawn? How are y'all doing tonight? Hope everybody's having a good Sunday. We're just getting into it. You haven't missed much. Just kind of named Brandon as Brant Lakes as an official added co-host.
He's gonna be our astrology man.
Yeah, and also and he also has some good knowledge on UFO and aliens and
Very knowledgeable. Yes, he is.
Just a really cool guy, and we're happy to have him on board. So we're going to just start off right off the bat. We got that announcement. Mr. Blanks, you are official. Hope you're back with us next Sunday. We miss you tonight, and we're happy to have you as part of our series. So we got that. So some other announcements. New people. I have made a few new friends this week. I have been in the paranormal field for well over 10 years. Gosh, probably more like between 12 and 14 years now. I run a group called Cape Fear Soul Seekers, and we have been all over the place doing investigations. This is Mr. Jeff Snyder, my co-host, one of my co-hosts. He is a UFO hunter. His group is
Alien Cryptoid Investigations.
And he's been in doing that well over 10 years. So hey, Eric, brother, what's going on? Between the two of us, we have well over 20 years in the paranormal business and UFO business field. Something. Right. So this is an all things paranormal a video blog. We like to have some fun, but we also like to have some good discussions. And give out some good information. Hey, man, what's going on, Eric? How are you, brother? Good friend of Eric and I go way back as well. So it's just in all things paranormal. Just we're welcome to ask questions or just say hey, and like Eric just did.
Yeah, and you can't be dead serious all the time. It causes hemorrhoids.
Yeah, no, we joke around a bit too. But then I'll also say this too. I say this. I gotta say this every video blog. We are an adult.
PG-17.
At least PG-17. Do not let your small children view this.
Not unless you want to answer a bunch
of
questions.
I mean,
because we're going to talk about it.
We say a few things from time to time that even us adults might.
Yeah.
But not all the time. But every now and again,
we're good.
It goes there. But anyway, so there's that warning. we're at least NC or PG-17 ish.
Yeah.
It depends on how we feel. So we got that out of the way. So announcements. I also have a TV internet series called Soul Seekers with my producer and partner, who's also my partner with Cape for Soul Seekers, Mr. Dustin Ivy, with his film company called Ivy Lee Film Productions out of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We are filming a series called Soul Seekers, Cape for Soul Seekers Show. We are on YouTube. We have 2 full episodes on that channel. We are cranking up episodes 3 and 4 this month, or coming into October. I'm going to go ahead and announce that. We are filming, 1 episode will be filmed at the Juggling Gypsy in Wilmington, North Carolina. I can at least announce what the name of it is or wherever the location is. Can't really talk about too much about the episode. Don't want to give it all away. And we are going to be able to be filming on location where the famous, everybody, all the locals in the area know about the Mako Light. That is going to be episode either 3 or 4. We're not sure which one's going to be which, towards the end of October. And we're also going to do a Skywatch end of October towards.
Yeah, when it gets a little cooler and the bugs aren't as bad and there aren't as many people on the beach at night, we want to go back to the point where it's very active. And that's part of our breaking news.
When we'll get to that in just a minute. So we also got a Skywatch, and we're also going to possibly turn another episode, Soul Seekers episode, into a UFO episode as well. So, people, lots going on. We have also an investigation at the Juggling Gypsy on the 15th of this month as well, and as well as a private home investigation in Morehead City towards the end of the month. So, when I say please don't invite me to places this month or going in October, man, I'm slammed. We are slammed pretty much every weekend between that and some other stuff I'm already involved in. So, Mr. Mallard, Stephen, what's going on? My mentor, one of my music mentors, is watching. Wow, that's awesome. Thank you, sir, for tuning in. So that's what's going on the Cape for Soul Seekers and video blog, and going on with the Soul Seekers episodes. We are excited to have those things all in the works. So with that, now that I got that out of the way, we were going to talk about wrapping up Storm in Area 51. We've been following that pretty hardcore since it all kind of blew up and whatnot. We may wrap that up next weekend. Brandon is available. We kind of want him in on that because of all the memes he wants to share with us. And because it's just he's just a big part of that. So,
Right.
so we're going to kind of skip the Storm Area 51 segment because we have breaking news, which is a lot more relevant, a lot closer to home. With that being said, I'm just going to let Jeff take it from here and kind of fill everybody in on what's going on in his neck. Now, tell them where you are, where you live,
Yeah.
your experiences, and then lead up.
Well, I'm not going to give the exact location because I haven't talked to these people and they haven't given me permission to release their street names or their addresses, and it's not fair to them to have people come over there to gawk and stuff.
Right.
But I live in the same town, so I can mention the town. I live in Bowling Spring Lakes, North Carolina, and for the past week, the paranormal activity down there has been way off the charts. The UFOs have been tremendous every night. There have been multiple witnesses filmed the orbs, mostly orbs. There's been a few crafts that they thought were craft that they were watching, and then most of the orbs were being chased or followed by helicopters, and in some circumstances throughout the week the helicopters were actually landing over there in certain places. And we've got two things that attract their attention. We've got this huge Army depot, bomb depot. It's supposed to be the largest on the East Coast, or maybe even the largest for the the states. I don't know. I just know it's huge, and we've got a
That's just me cracking open Pepsi. Sorry.
and we've got a nuclear power plant that it's its neighbor right beside of it. And I'm here to tell. It makes me want to. All the people that were posting UFO videos and just their sightings and their stories on different local sites this week made me just want to walk up to them and get them by the collar and say, "I told you."
and
Because they're there, buddy. I watch them.
He's had many experiences in his family. Has had many experiences, personal experiences with alien encounters over the years. And I've experienced things.
You've seen them firsthand.
Which it kind of inspired me to put all this stuff together and do what we're doing now, and to get word out and to have discussions and talk about it. With as many folks as we that are interested in or wanting to talk about things like that with us, whether it be on the ghost side of things or alien or just not normal phenomena. So
something you don't understand.
What's going on, Mr. Vincent? By the way, we start an hour. My stupid computer's wanting to freaking restart on me. Go figure. Mr. Vincent. Yeah. Mr. Vincent, this is Mr. Jeff Snyder. I appreciate you chiming in and checking us out. And Mr. Snyder would love to meet you. And
is that the guy you were talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to meet you.
Yeah, he wants to meet you, and we are very interested in doing what we discussed.
Yes, sir. We have the same thing in mind.
So I hope you. Good evening. Yeah, thanks, man. So I'm hoping you can. We can maybe meet up. The three of us can meet up and maybe go out to the far end of our spot that we want to go to and put this together and see if we can. Can't really talk about this on the air yet. It's G14 classified.
G14 classified. But if you hear 45 going off in rapid succession, don't even come out on the porch. You don't want to see it.
We're involved in stuff. But so why do you think that this is happening right now? I mean,
I don't. That's a good question. And I'm not trying to take up your time on your show, but I do want to mention one. I know, but I tell people every week, do yourself a favor and get yourself a cat. And there's a reason. I have cats that are super, super sensitive to the what you call it,
paranormal, supernatural.
Supernatural. They see spirits, they communicate with spirits, and they'll let you know when they're there. This afternoon.
Sorry, Vincent says I'm the guy.
Yes, sir. You damn right. I can't wait to meet you.
Yeah, we'll meet up.
This afternoon, about 2:00, when I got out of the shower to get ready to come up here. I'm not going to tell you about all the things, but I've got a breed of pixie bobs that I have at home, and they're extremely in tune with their surroundings. And I've got 3 that are 4-month-old babies, and they're just now starting to communicate, talk, and see things and do things. Well, today when I got out of the shower, Tiberius, one of my biggest males, and my little 4-month-old female, her name's Kick-It, they were in the bathroom still. Everybody else was laying on the bed watching cartoons. And I open up the shower, and there I see Kick-It standing on the toilet lid, and she's clicking. They've got this thing that they do. They click and they chirp whenever they.
What do you mean something. Click? Is this like a?
She goes.
Okay.
I'm going to have their mama in here, and you're going to see her. I'll get her to click for you, and I'll get her to chirp for you. But I had no idea that Kick-It was going to do that, and she does just exactly the same thing that her mama does. And she was leaning forward, clicking to something that she was communicating with. And so instead of interrupting her or trying to discourage her or anything, I leaned around, I looked at her, and of course there's nothing there that I can see, but Kick-It's talking to something. and I don't even know what it was, but whatever it was literally on her level because it was her eyes weren't looking up, her eyes were looking dead ahead. And
Do you think they've gotten more heightened since these sightings
yeah,
in your area?
in my area,
Right.
like whenever they feel threatened or they feel uneasy or there's something bothering them or they can feel something, sense something,
Right.
they surround me on the bed. Like,
Kaya, how are you
watching
doing?
TV.
Sorry, I appreciate you logging in. Say
Yeah.
hey.
And I can tell. I can tell when something's bothering them because they'll be right there, and they don't make any noise. But I guarantee you, I would not want to be the whatever it is that spooks them and causes them to go into their full attack mode because they would fight a circle saw for me, and I do the same thing to them. But I'm
Didn't you say something about these particular sightings? That these people that saw these were people that were
they live over there in my city,
and they were
not
they're
too
the
far
ones
from
that
my
were
house.
that were all thinking you were kind of
Yeah,
a little out there for
that people
saying
think
you've
you're a
seen this
wacko
stuff.
if you say.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to run up and down the street with a flag saying, I'll see the UFO or
Right,
the
right.
light.
Right.
But they're there. And
Now these were different. Didn't you say these were like changing colors?
these were orbs that were changing colors by their description. And they
Right.
had it on their cell phone footage. And, of course, there's no noise. And I didn't hear any of the videos that I watched. I didn't hear any helicopters in the background, but they had already described helicopters chasing these orbs or following these orbs, and a couple of the helicopters actually landing off in the distance. And there's quite a few places that they can land.
There's a lot of space, wide open space in Bowling
Yes,
Springs.
sir. A lot of room in Bowling Springs, and I live on one side of the railroad. I live on the opposite side of the railroad track from where these guys live. I could literally walk across the railroad tracks through the woods and be at their house in like 5 minutes on foot, and we all see the same sky.
Right. How
So-
many? What was the biggest single report? Like, were there multiple ones?
Yes, the one posting that I saw had they had talked about 5 at one time.
And how long ago? How recent? Days?
Thursday night.
Wow. And see, why didn't you call me? We'd gone down there and
Yeah.
done a thing. Gone and I don't know, chased them. I don't know, something. Jeff, I can't read his whole
You
comment.
have probably a night vision camera. I don't
Yes, we do. We have all kinds of paranormal gear, scopes, and I have some scopes and stuff.
I personally don't own one. Matthew does. I've had enough of these subbitches. I know where they are. I know how to find them, and I know how to spot them. And that man right there knows what I want to do.
Yeah.
So that's my goal.
Trying to get to where we can see the whole comment.
That's my goal.
I just made it worse.
There you go.
Night, but yeah. Yeah, like I said, Vincent, yeah, I've got over the years I've collected. Hey Jay, how you doing, sir? I've collected quite a bit of paranormal gear, camera gear, and that kind of stuff. We got binoculars and that kind of stuff. So, I'd like to, since Vincent and I have talked, and now he's on here, and you know what we want to do. I'd love to invite him on our next Skywatch.
Well, he's more than welcome. And
I'd like to do the Skywatch first, and then
let him see what's out there.
and then
What we're seeing.
do what we were talking about, what we wanted. I can't say what we want to
don't
do
worry
yet.
about that. I just want to caution people. If you're out in your yard, I can sit out on my front porch, on my steps, on my front porch. And my oldest daughter, Boo, all my daughters can tell you this. We'll sit out there on the steps, especially when it's good and cool at night and there's no bugs to bother you and the sky is crystal clear and it's really good and dark. You'd be surprised at what you see, especially around my house. Not because it's my house, but because of what's being,
Man, I tell
what
everybody,
influences things to be there.
I know, man, just look up every now and again.
Just look up.
You'd be amazed at what you might see
But
that's
for
not an airplane
God's sake, unless
or a
you-
weather balloon.
Yeah, weather balloon. Nice. But
Everything's a
for
weather
God's
balloon.
sake, if you don't want to communicate with these things, or if you don't want to be directly involved with these things, for God's sake, don't communicate. Don't shine a flashlight up in the sky. Don't do anything to call attention to yourself. But they know you're watching them anyway. They know when people see them. They know when people look at them. Then there's going to be a few times that they'll show you things that they won't show somebody else. And Matthew's been a witness to that.
Oh yeah,
He's he's been privileged to see things, and I don't think he's ever been tagged.
privilege.
Yeah, yeah.
We won't go there. That was on another
I hate
episode.
them people.
Um,
Don't, please, for your own
Here-
good, don't reach out.
here's
to
my
them.
thing too. Or here's another thing I was going to say. So, I wonder if they're agitated. Maybe they're agitated, so they're showing themselves of what's all is going on in the world right now.
I think they're on edge, and I think that I know for a fact they dabble with. It's people think you're crazy, and then when they start seeing these things for themselves, I just want to grab them by the collar and say, "I told you."
Yeah.
I think they dabble, and they have dabbled, and they're going to and still dabble, and will dabble again in the formation and in the DNA of.
Now, do you think these are the
humans.
Greys?
Probably. I really don't know what's in the orbs because we've seen the orbs during broad daylight,
Right.
literally in broad daylight in town.
And
There
these
it
aren't the
is.
triangle ones. These are all just
No,
the
the
orbs.
triangle ones scare the absolute shit out of me. And
Right.
I don't even know what's on them, but we see them over there too. And then every once in a while, I don't know if anybody that's watching has ever heard a huge electrical arc, but every once in a while, you can hear this god awful arc and screeching sound. And it's one of these things flying close over top of the big feeders in the field across the street from my
Now,
house.
didn't you say sometimes you can hear noise and it sounds like an off balanced washing
Washing machine, yeah, woo, 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 woo. It does something like
And
that.
that's when they're that's when they're feeding, right?
Well,
Or taking the energy, or
I don't know because sometimes you hear that you don't see anything, you just hear it, and then sometimes when you hear the arc or see a flash, it's one of those things drawing energy. I don't even know how they draw energy off of that, what they would do with it, because it could be anywhere from 10,000 to 1,000,000 volts going through those lines. They come straight from the nuclear plant.
right?
You know, it's directly from the plant to wherever it's going on the grid. But I have seen those things suck power off those power lines before.
That's crazy.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
and now,
It makes a hell of a racket.
I
And it
don't-
scared me.
I don't know why if they're so that far advanced.
And
Why would they want
why
our
would they want our
energy?
electricity? Why would they want our water? I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? Research, maybe. Who knows? So with that being said, that's the breaking news we wanted to, and I would like for you to if you would stay on top of this story. We're going to probably go investigate this and see if we can't do within the next week or so, and see if we can't get anything on our captured on our video cameras or cell phones or
Yes, sir. Well, the
You know.
breaking news is this: the UFOs are very active in Bowling Spring Lakes lately.
right. That's interesting. It's just there is no season for them. Same things with
No,
same thing on the ghost side of
good
things.
times for us to sit and watch them. I would rather sit and watch them when it's cool and there's no
You're not gonna
bugs
get
and
eat up
nobody
by
out there shining a
horse
damn
flies.
flashlight at me.
Right.
I get lit up and get pulled up in there. I'm gonna whoop somebody's ass when I get back.
So, with that being said, since we've discussed, your breaking news, we've had our announcements, and you're thinking it's possible. On our last episode, we discussed many types of, and I do appreciate you sharing that, and I'm looking forward to going down and doing a sky watch. For those that don't know, a sky watch is basically we set up a campsite out on the beach, and we set up telescopes, binoculars, night vision stuff, and we just freaking stare at the sky all night.
On a really good
Real
dark
good.
night, yeah. Sometimes we have gone over to the lake, but there ain't no water in the lake right now. But it's a good place to go because you can get down behind the dam and it's really dark.
Right. And it's
You
just
can
it's just
see
good times.
forever.
So it's a good night. It's good conversation. It's quiet.
Yep.
It's almost kind of relaxed. It's almost like stargazing.
Yep.
So-
The darker the better.
So with that being said, we're going to talk a little bit about the different types of we mentioned this a little bit on our last episode. We talked about there are different types of
Graves.
greys and other types of alien species
Right.
that have been created over the years. We're going to go more into the grays tonight, and the reason I want to talk more about the grays is because, according to some of the research I've done or we've done, the grays have been, out of all the reports of alien abductions or encounters, um, the Greys seem to have, the uh, top bidding, top winnings, or top
Right, the majority.
the majority,
The
43%.
that humans come into contact
Right.
with are the Greys.
43%, which is I find pretty impressive.
Yes.
And I've found, Brandon mentioned that there was 5 different types. I did some research and found 3, and they labeled them as A, B, and C. We'll talk about A first. A's being the tall Greys. Now, you mentioned you knew them as the Doctor. Can you tell me anything else about?
Right. They refer to themselves as either a doctor, or I guess it's just so we'll understand what the hell it is they want, or a scientist. And the tall one is going, or tall ones are going to be the ones that are doing their experiments. They're not very friendly. They don't understand our fears. They don't understand anything at all about our emotions, actually. They just know that they're here to check things, to see, I'm assuming, how far along mankind is, but I don't know their agenda. I don't know everything that they do. I just know I don't like it. And the tall ones are normally the ones that are doing all the procedures. The shorter ones are going to be the ones that come and get you.
Now, hang on a second. So let's not go too far. The shorter ones are the B, A, B, and C. The B's are short Greys, or are shorter than what they call tall Grey.
Tall ones, yeah.
And they're labeled as scouts. Can you go into that a little bit more?
Yeah, they're going to be the ones that like actually put the feet on. They'll be the ones with the boots on the ground, and they're going to be out. They're the ones that are going to make the dogs bark, and they're the ones that are going to be stirring up all the trouble and looking at everything. And they may or may not be the ones that walk through your wall. And I'm telling you, people think I'm crazy.
People think I'm crazy, so
But
there you go.
But they're real. And the ones that are between 2 and 4 feet tall, I don't even know what to call them. They're just some kind of a minion kind of thing. And the shorter ones could be like 5 or 6 feet tall. The taller ones could be like 8 or 9 feet tall. And they're just tall.
So our the C one is the shortest.
Yeah.
And they're saying, according to some of the research I have done, it's said that they are the most dangerous. And it also says that they can shapeshift. I didn't know Greys could even do. I wasn't aware that was even a thing. That they are also known as shapeshifts, and even somewhat of the reptilian species, which
they're supposed to be in the reptilian division.
Which I didn't know that at all.
I've seen them too, and they're not. They don't look a damn thing like a Grey.
Well, but that's because they're shapeshifting too.
Tall.
So they may be. It may be Grey one minute, it may be what you're seeing in the next.
Just depending on how the light reflected off the one that I was looking at, it was real pretty. It was scary as hell. I couldn't move.
Right.
I had my hand on a certain item that I was prepared to use, but I couldn't do anything. And it looked at me, and that's as much as I remember. It didn't do anything else. It just looked at me. And but the light, when the light shines on or shone on it, it was anywhere from gold to like you'd
Vincent
see
said she lost a feed.
A bird or something in the bright sunlight. So we ain't on the radio no more, huh?
Can anybody, let's do a test. Vincent said they lost feed.
Yeah, that just means they're watching again.
Lost feed. Just still rolling. Did that go out? That didn't go out, did it? I just said test and enter. Damn it.
Where's your sit down button?
Something happened.
Dude, I'm telling you, they ain't stupid. Yeah, it went through. Both of them. They ain't stupid. They know.
Just checking, y'all. Anybody else out there? Anybody having a hard time There we go. New comment. Maybe it's on my end, but the video practically froze.
No.
All right. Well, we're back.
They're watching. I mean, they
Could
know.
be on our end. Who knows? I appreciate you letting us know that. We have some issues from time to time here. We'll just do it. Okay, so I'm hoping everybody, if we did disconnect, we apologize. Test 1 2. Hope everybody see us.
Can you hear us okay, Eddie?
Anybody hear us
and
okay?
I will tell you this: if they come through that door right there, Matthew knows what to do.
I'm gonna duck and cover.
He's gonna put his finger in his ears first.
I'm gonna jump
It's
under
gonna
the
hurt.
I'm gonna be a little
That
wussy
shit
and
is
jump
loud.
under that desk. That's what I'm
I don't know
gonna
what they sound like screaming, but I'm gonna find out.
do. Where's Bailey tonight?
I don't know.
Why don't you get on the phone? and see
Send
where
us
she at?
a message.
Yeah, send her a message. So Vincent, man, since you're with us now, where were you when? Where were we? What were we talking about when? We could back up if we need to. Right now, we're talking about different types of grays when it comes to alien, the alien species. We've researched 3 that we're talking about. Just to recap on that, we're researching. We researched the tall grays. I guess tall, medium, and short. So I'm going to label them as. Let's see who's got what going on. Working again now for me. Awesome. So we just talked about. We're going to recap a little bit. We might have lost a couple of folks. I apologize if there was some sort of freeze. I'm not saying it was aliens, but it was probably aliens.
Well, they know. I mean,
I am sure they know we're watching.
I don't think he's ever been
Or that
tagged,
we're talking about.
but they know where I'm at. They know what I'm doing.
And
Bitches.
they may not like it. So
They don't know they don't like it.
so that's where we're at. So just to recap, the grays, the tall grays are known as doctors
Or scientists.
or scientists,
Yeah, they refer to themselves as either one.
right?
And it's if you look them up, it describes that. And they'll be tall, really tall.
Now audio cut out.
Uh-oh. What I tell you.
Man, how about? Can you
Sorry.
hear me?
I'm sorry.
That's crazy. I don't know what's going on.
And we ain't nobody moved.
Nah,
We're
I'm
just sitting here.
not doing nothing.
Boy, ain't it- God.
Let me look at this thing. How about now, Vincent? Can you hear the audio now?
It's up there. It's loud, man.
Yeah. How about now? Audio test on the laptop. Audio test 1 2.
I would like to repeat something already, though, that Matthew's already said. We may joke and cut up and carry on and have fun, but when it comes to the paranormal or when it comes to these things right here, we're dead serious. And I created my group because my family didn't have anybody to talk to except for this one nationwide group. And they didn't do a damn thing for us except try to debunk everything and convince us that we should be privileged. And that ain't the way it is. So we created our own group so we could let people just give somebody just give somebody to talk to. We didn't have anybody. We had to create our own. And I didn't like that. I didn't particularly care for those people, and I still don't. And I ain't gonna mention her name either.
Right.
You can figure them out.
Well, why we're having so many problems with every episode, man.
And ain't done nothing.
I'm not doing that either. That.
Just have to catch up with you guys at a different audio cut out from your feed to make coming down. See, they know, dude. Some bitches know.
I don't know what's going on with our audio and video tonight. Every time it seems we do these things, we have some kind of. Like last episode, we had a problem with my recording laptop, which is working great tonight, and now I'm having problems with my other laptop, which the video laptop. So
It ain't nothing wrong with either one of them.
audio is good for me again. Okay, great. All right, so now it seems like our audio is working. I apologize, folks. I'm gonna go back and watch the video after we do this and see what happened to our audio. Sorry about that. Apologize for any technical difficulties. So once again, we just wrapped up talking about the three different types of grays: tall, medium, and short. Basically, what we're calling them: doctors being the tall ones, scouts being the medium sized, and shorts being the most dangerous ones, and also can also be known as shapeshifters and or reptilians.
And their job is the reason they're so dangerous. Their job is to do whatever it takes to perform their mission. That's why they're dangerous.
And they are the ones also to be known to eat anything.
Reptilians do that.
Well, so do these short
The
ones.
little short ones.
The short ones will
never
eat.
Experienced that.
Well,
Some
this
missions are bad.
This is what the research is suggesting that I've been looking up, that reptilians are very much known for eating anything, and especially live animals. Cattle, whatever it can eat. Which is going to bring us to our next segment tonight, which is going to be there's apparently out of upstate Oregon. You guys can look this up if you'd like. There's a big story coming out of there. A lot of cattle are being eaten, mutilated, like bad. And I decided I wanted us to talk about this a little bit because, there's been reports of that going on for years and years and years all over, I guess, everywhere.
Around our planet.
Right. And, people that, follow alien enthusiasts, and know that, hey, Elijah, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining in or logging in. Alien enthusiasts, all of us know that aliens have a history of animal abductions as well as human abductions. Now, and mutilations. Now, here's my question, Jeff. Why? I mean, what is that?
I don't know what they're doing with animal parts and pieces and DNA and these kinds of things, because they're not going to intermingle with humans. Our scientists have been able to prove that. They just don't intermingle. But I have no idea what their agenda is with, like, cow mutilations or sheep. I have no clue.
I mean,
I know why they want humans, and I know what to do with humans. And dude, we could do a whole entire thing on just what people look like. Say every so many years, it's like the whole people change physically.
I'm wondering. I mean,
they dabble in our.
I can understand animal. I really don't understand any of it, but my thoughts would be, there's Bailey. What's going on?
I think we're just an experiment.
Yeah, I mean, in general, whether it be abducting us or abducting the animal, the thing about animals is, depending on the animal, there'll be a whole lot less struggle.
Yeah, that's a mess.
Ain't gonna be bitching and moaning. I mean, the only thing cows gonna be doing will be like, moo. And they gonna be like, hey man, I'm gonna call the cops.
One of my favorite TV shows is Invader Zim, and when they pulled up this,
maybe it's for boredom. How many times have we used magnifying glasses on? Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, it could be. I mean, I agree. I mean, look, man.
I don't know why they pick animals. Honestly, I don't. I mean, you'd think they would want to experiment with something like an octopus or a squid or something that ain't from this planet.
And who's to say they haven't? Something like
They may
that.
have.
Something like that. They could probably
Just
be in the
go
middle of the
underwater
ocean
and
and nobody ever see it. You know. I mean,
maybe where the giant ones came from.
that could be. I mean,
I have no idea.
who knows? Or maybe there's an underwater alien species that's saying y'all need to not leave. You know,
Yeah, don't bother.
don't bother us, or we're gonna do something to y'all.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's all kinds of.
Well, they're real. I can promise you that. They're real.
They are
Maybe.
not humans, so maybe they don't.
Says what? My phone won't let me watch it. I'm sorry.
Rationalize. Right? Vincent says they're not humans, so maybe they don't rationalize like us. Man, that's,
You're right.
yeah, maybe they're just doing it because it's fun. What'd you do last night? I don't know. Oh, I abducted about 20 cattle. Oh man, we only got 10.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a game.
How
How many cattle can you abduct in a night? with your new maybe they develop newer technology. They create games out of the newer technology to be able to do things to us.
And the Atomic Space Navy shows up, and then the next thing you know, they're getting water and cows.
Who knows, man? But I find it interesting that they seem to be so interested or seemingly interested in so much on this planet besides just humans.
Yes.
I mean, granted, they're just those types. Hey, Elkie, glad you could join us. There's so much we don't know, compared to so much, that they possibly do know, and that's the part that's so aggravating to me. I want to know as much as they know.
I want to know too, but I don't want to talk more.
Maybe they get drunk from others. What part?
Well, you
Oh,
know
that's
that on
hilarious.
that one show, that alien TV show, what was it called?
Wait a minute. Vincent says maybe they get drunk from cow udders. Maybe they want to party. Maybe they want a cow pancreas as a hallucinogen.
Hallucinogenic. That one alien
that's
show that was
funny.
on the TV, where the alien was the police, and they had
Yeah.
these funny looking heads that looked like watermelons and pumpkins and cantaloupes and stuff. Their thing to get them drunk was sour milk, remember?
Man, that's that's
Maybe
right.
That's why they won't kill
I mean, and that's dude. Vincent just opened my mind to a whole new.
you never know. I mean,
That's freaking funny, dude. I had never even thought about that.
And when they get water, they don't always get salt water. They get what do you call this plain unsalted water, like out of the lake?
Spring water
Fresh water.
or fresh water. Spring, yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. Well,
I should have worn my damn.
But the way Vincent
aluminum helmet.
stated that they that they might be that like humans eat mushrooms to get high.
Yeah,
so
well, you never know. I'm telling you, there's a reason that they
cows are an aphrodisiac to
could
aliens.
be. Could be that sour milk. I don't know.
Oh man, that's fun.
And salt water is the thing that burnt them up. You remember?
Yeah.
Salt water burned them up.
Or just did you see Signs?
Yeah, I
It
saw
was just
signs.
water that burned them up. In Signs, they threw a glass of water on them. They started
And they started burning.
burning or something. Yeah.
They're gonna make Mr. 45, and we're gonna see how good they sizzle one of these days.
Just give him a cow. Don't be happy.
And I hope I got the beast with me when I find one.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, that trips me out. Never thought of because we always think everything's got to be so serious, right?
Yeah,
I mean, they're killing cattle.
there's a reason that they pick them.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
with him.
The reason might not even be serious.
Nope.
It might
Because
just
something
be.
like, "Yeah, I guess
Well,
we'll bring it back, cow."
Hell, I don't know what to do tonight. Let's go abduct some cattle.
Yeah, we'll bring it back some cow boobs there.
What are the humans doing? They're just being the humans. That's boring. Let's go get some cattle.
Well, we
I don't
eat a
know.
nanner pudding. They probably have a cow boob
Cow.
pudding.
Yeah, right.
Who knows?
That's-
That's stupid.
Oh, that's funny though.
I hate 'em.
My mind has been even more open this evening thanks to Mr. Vincent.
Yeah,
Hi, Elkie.
well, I hate 'em.
We appreciate you being here, man, or ma'am. Said man. It doesn't matter if you're late or not.
We'll still let you come in. Here.
Absolutely, we love you.
Love to
Appreciate
have
you.
you.
we love everybody that's here and supporting us. And sorry about if anybody had any audio issues with us earlier. And
Sorry about that.
we seem to be doing all right now. So we're going to keep on going. So check out the article though. It's just Google cow mutilation
in Oregon.
in upstate Oregon. It's all kinds of little stories will pop up. It's a really interesting read. Just don't feed them.
After midnight, yeah, or don't get them wet.
I love our viewers.
I do. Yeah, see, I even wore a red shirt
Oh
tonight.
man, that trips me out. Just don't feed them after midnight. Elkie says. Oh man, that's great.
The laws of evolution.
Consistent. I have to wonder their origin. Large eyes. Does that mean a dark environment, low planet? Oh yeah, that's interesting. Put a planet with strong gravity and interesting thoughts.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Here's another thing too that's interesting about the way they travel. We're all thinking. I say we. That's not. Let me rephrase that. Some think that they're traveling in light speed. They could be
I
traveling.
think that's slow for them.
I don't think they're traveling in light speed at all. I think they're traveling interdimensional. I think they travel from dimension to dimension.
I do too.
More so, I think they've
More
been
so than through wormholes and things
right,
like
more
that.
like a portal to portal. I would that wouldn't surprise me. I mean, light speed just I don't know. I see more like a time jumping
Yeah.
than you know what I mean, like time displacement.
Because they're
Than
so
actual
far
light
advanced
speed.
and they're so far way ahead of us, it's not even funny. And I think they're just checking on us to see where we have gotten to make sure that we're not getting ready to bomb ourselves again.
But and Vincent makes a great point. I mean, the way they're shaped. Of course, you got to think.
Well,
They probably couldn't stay on this planet for very long because of how their bodies look. With the eyes being as big as they
I
are.
don't think they could tolerate it. I have a friend that confided in me one time about an abduction that he experienced. And he told me that in order for him to calm down and to let them do what they were going to do, they promised him that they would show him some of the things that they were privy to. And he explained to me that they showed him that there was 9 dimensions. And they took him to each one, and he said, as they progressed from dimension to dimension, the vibrations on his body got worse and worse and worse, and he couldn't take the vibrations in the 9th dimension, but just for a few seconds, and they had to bring him back.
Well, that's interesting. I mean,
yeah.
and
I
they,
believed him. And
but these the Greys at least have figured out,
how to go from place to place.
but they possibly haven't been able to figure out how to stay in one place for very long.
Right, and I believe that if they're not the ones that are orchestrating our evolutionary changes, they're trying to up or shore up their evolutionary changes by using us for certain things because they're pleasing.
Right. Now here's, and this will lead us into another discussion. We've kind of gone, and this is, I want to say this too. This is a little off topic, but not really. It's kind of relative. We were talking about the Roswell crash a while back. I just want you all to do some research on this if you have time. There were other crashes just as noticeable or as big as the Roswell crash in the Midwest and Upper Midwest. In that time period, within 2 or 3 years of the Roswell crash, that just did not get as much publicity as the Roswell crash did. And, I'm wondering if there was, a lot of them coming to this planet at that time to try to figure out maybe how they can stay longer. And that's why there were so many crashes, because there were a lot coming in that time period to do more research,
And they couldn't handle it.
and they couldn't handle it.
We're not the same as them.
Right. humans, especially people of Europe descent, have efficiently both built and destroyed life and culture of every place we've gone. They probably want to keep us in. Well, sure. He says
Yeah,
they're trying to keep
us in check.
Now-
I believe that.
down there. Here's the thing: we talked about this too, Vincent. Appreciate all your comments and inputs. We talk about there are species of aliens that definitely are watchers, and that's what they do. They are trying to. When the atomic bomb, when we first developed atomic weaponry, that's when they really took notice in us. And some species, it's almost like this is according to some research, and these are some people's thoughts that are way more into this than I am, and have studied this type of I don't know. More involved enthusiasts than myself. I'm still learning. But what they say is there's these certain species are kind of battling each other. Some are watching us and just trying to make sure we don't destroy ourselves, and others are encouraging us to destroy ourselves.
So they can come in.
Right. And take over.
Get to a certain point, they're going to show up and say, "Yeah, well,
Basic, like the Nordics, they're a bunch of assholes, basically.
Right.
And like
I don't know that much about them.
some parts of the Greys are more into preserving and just some species of Greys are more watchers and trying to self-preserve.
Right.
And don't want us to
destroy ourselves. See, we're capable of destroying the whole planet.
Oh, absolutely. Right now we can.
Yes,
can absolutely. To press
they
the
know
button.
that.
Yep.
And why they don't come down and just absorb all this stuff and take it away, I have no idea. I don't know. But they know that it's here.
That might very well happen.
And right.
Why not?
We've got nuclear power plants. Hell, a nuclear power plant could go up and level the whole whole area that it's around.
Oh yeah, and it has.
And
Chernobyl.
Yeah.
And
that Fukushima.
And Japan, yeah. So parts of Japan. So this contaminated a whole ocean. Sadly.
Sick on my stomach.
So with that being said,
Damn things.
we've talked a pretty good bit about the alien side of things tonight. We had a little bit of difficulty with some audio and maybe some video, but I'll have to go back and watch it. But what we're going to kind of switch gears a little bit. Wait a minute, Vince has a comment. I think if they wanted to eliminate us, it would be easy. A pandemic would clear 2/3 of the planet. Oh yeah. I mean, I don't think it'd be a big deal. I'm sure they have technology that would just
wipe us out, and they could just come in and ain't gonna bother them.
That's it. That's the only way I see us. This is just an opinion. The only thing I think that's really keeping us maybe ahead of them is maybe we good BSers. Man, maybe we telling them, man, we got some shit right now. When you touch us, we're gonna blow you out of existence. You know what I mean?
Maybe we're their comic relief.
I don't know.
Like we're all a bunch of hillbillies there.
Yeah, maybe they like us. Maybe they enjoy the entertainment and drama. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
I just know I don't like them.
So, we talked a little bit about how aliens and alien spacecraft, how they might use that technology to travel, whether it be light speed or interdimensional or portal type travel. Jeff and I are leaning more towards interdimensional travel and or portals rather than light speed.
Wormholes.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna have no sign that says BSL exit 219. Turn here. No.
Or do they?
Well, you never know.
Floating in space like on Futurama.
I ain't never been there. Don't want to go, but I'm sure. They know how to get around.
So we're going to talk a little bit about, the afterlife. I am a little bit more knowledgeable on this. Not that much more, but a little bit more experienced on this spiritual side of things, the ghostly side of things. So there's different beliefs. You know, as a paranormal investigator, uh, our at least how I approach things, or my team does, we are monitors, we're researchers, and we're debunkers. We don't. Hey, Mr. Gilmore, what's going on, brother? Good to have you aboard. We don't claim to get rid of. We don't try to get rid of spirit activity. Um, we have people. I have people on my speed dial that I can get in touch with, if that needs to be. But we're gonna talk a little bit, and I don't want to hope I don't offend anybody with this. It's can be a little touchy, especially to those that are I don't know, more religious than others, maybe. And I don't mean to offend anybody. These are just some thoughts and ideas, and I have no way to say, hey, Sydney, how you doing? I appreciate you logging on. These are just thoughts, and some thoughts based on some other theories and stuff that I've done some research on. So, how many people out there ever really dabble on the idea of, okay, after I die? So in the Bible, I think it says, if you're Christian, you sleep until Jesus comes back, correct? Something like that?
Well, you're going to be judged when you die.
But in between there, your soul sleeps, right? There is no.
Well, I don't remember that.
I mean, if Catholics believe in purgatory until God comes back, I think.
Well, they're scared.
Let's not go there. I don't want to offend
I
anybody.
can't go there. I ain't going to offend nobody. But almost time to restart.
Wait an hour.
The quote that I'm more familiar with is, to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. When you pass from this life to the next one, you go to be judged, and you have an opportunity to do whatever with your
Vince, I'm not laughing at you,
sins.
Jeff. I'm laughing at Vincent's.
Yeah.
So
I
I'm going there. I'm saying this because I'm getting ready to segue into another.
Yeah, no, go ahead. But I don't remember that.
So my point being is, we don't, we don't really know. We have some ideas. So I've discussed this with some like-minded paranormal investigators, and they've had a lot of interesting ideas, and we're going to talk about those ideas. A couple of those ideas are this. Some believe that if you wanted to travel and go somewhere in the afterlife, and you have the ability to do so, there's this. It's called a grid line. There's a grid line, works as like a subway, but it's much faster, and it's just a stream of. It's like a beam, and you're in spirit form, I would believe, and you just grab a hold of the beam, and it takes you from point A to point B, wherever you want to go. Now, I think that's pretty cool. Surely, you would think there's got to be ways. Adam, he is right. As soon as you die, you're judged then, and that's my understanding. Yeah. So, with that being said, there's still got to be. Okay, so even if you're in heaven, there's still got to be ways to get around, right? So
if that's where your spirit stays.
Right, if that's where your spirit stays. So, Judge Bite, well, I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah.
This is not we're just talking more on paranormal side of transportation. More so than the religious side of it. Right. So there are, although I do appreciate your comment, we're just not going to go too far into that. So some say these are just theories, and these are opinions, no facts, no nothing. These are all opinions that we're talking about and ideas. So one idea that I've heard in the paranormal world is a grid line. A paranormal or a ghostly figure or a spirit can commune, could possibly commune back and forth from wherever they wanted to go on a grid line. The other type of transportation I've heard, yeah, right. Cindy says, okay, good. The other type of transportation, because obviously, I won't say obviously, I would think that once your spirit goes wherever it's going to go, you're still going to, well, unless you go to, if you have the capabilities to maneuver wherever you end up, how's that going to happen?
I don't know.
Especially if you want to, will we be able to travel distances, long distances?
Yeah, and it was always odd when we would go to like the places to do an investigation, and when we played back the EVP, like when we went to the cabinet shop, and we really honestly believed, and we were addressing that spirit and that by that person's name because that's who we believed that we were talking to, and
right.
then when we listened to it, the spirit was a lady, and she had an English accent. Oh, you remember that?
Yeah. Now.
And hell, here we are in Southport.
Well, and here's the other thing.
To get here somehow.
The other thing I believe, and it's not just me. There's some other people, folks, and have a thought of. We talked about portals with alien for alien transportation.
Yeah.
I feel that there are portals, possibly as another means of getting around in the afterlife. There's possible portal transportation. Open up a portal, and you're there. Or there's a portal that that leads you from point A to point B. That is, if you again have the capabilities. I'm not sure that everybody's going to be able to have the capabilities to move around. I'm not sure, but I would love to think that, or have the energy. I would love to be able to. I mean, how cool would it be to just be able to be like, I'm going to go from the one part of the galaxy where the Earth is to the end of it in a matter of seconds in your afterlife. Well, it'd be cool to do that in your not afterlife too, but it would really be cool, to just travel around. I'm going to rewrite my bucket list for the afterlife because I sure ain't going nowhere. Oh, that's funny. Elkie says, I'm going to rewrite my bucket list for the afterlife because I sure ain't going to nowhere while I'm still breathing. Oh, man. Well, you never know, Elkie. I mean, something could happen and you could hit the lottery and we could all go somewhere and
I just want to see all
go
my
party
friends,
somewhere and hang
peers.
out all together and have a good old time. Who knows? Anything is possible.
That's what I want to see.
Although, can't win if you don't play.
You can't win if you don't play, and I didn't get tickets tonight, so.
Right.
There you go.
No, I'm not suggesting you just go start playing and spend all your money on the lottery either. So that would suck if that came back haunting me 20 years from now. But anyway, so yeah, these are just some suggestions. These are just some ideas, things to think about, ponder, if you will. Just while you're bored and you have nothing else to do, think about things like, how would we, after I die, how would I if I was allowed to get around and I wanted to get around and go somewhere, how would that happen? How would I be able to do that?
Never experienced
that. I mean, how many people wonder on that on a regular basis anyway? Feel free to chime in on that. That's my retirement plan, the lottery. I think that's a lot of us' retirement plans, Vincent, is the lottery. And I mean, if I did win the lottery, we talked about this already. If I won the lottery, I would do a lot of traveling myself. Just go see a bunch of things and try to.
I'd run up to Morgan and get me a Village Inn pizza.
Village Inn Pizza. Where?
Morgan.
North
That's where
Carolina?
I'm from.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
well, we can just do that this weekend.
We could do that. Take my little hot rod out there. You get 35 miles to the gallon.
Right? Elkie says, I'm relying on my penny jar.
Yeah. At least she's got pennies. I ain't got nothing there in mine.
I got me a change jar. I keep filling up every month, end of the month.
I got air in mine.
So those are just a couple things to think about. On the ghostly side of things, I believe, I feel, my personal opinion is that we, as a paranormal investigator, we've experienced some things that make me think that there's more of like a portal type way of transportation.
And there's definitely something after.
Oh, absolutely. We've caught too much
Yes,
on audio
There's definitely
for there not to
something
be
after.
over the years. Vincent says, power of thought. Vincent says, power of thought, I imagine, would be enough to travel. Perhaps there are rules to the afterlife, a spiritual border wall, make the afterlife. Oh, Lord. Whew.
I don't know, dude. It's possible.
It is
I don't know how they get
possible.
from place to place because of all the spirits that I've been with him on when he does an investigation, of all the spirits that he's talked to or that I've talked to
Right.
or that anybody's talked to, it's never been anybody that I knew. Ever.
Well, no, yeah. I mean, and there's been too many different voices, female, male, different accents, ages that we've caught on audio. For me not to know for sure that I have no doubt in my mind that we do go on and our souls go on. Now, again, this particular segment is more dedicated to traveling, flying the friendly skies, as you would, so to speak. A little, Vincent says, laugh a little bit, have some fun, right?
Yeah, that's what we were talking about a little while ago. We might cut up some and BS a little bit. We take this stuff very seriously.
Yeah, we do. I mean, we want
Because
to
it's
we joke
real.
around a little bit, but we also like to have some good discussion and get out some good information and make people think and not make people think. You better think.
Yeah, and just to let people know you ain't crazy.
Right. And the other thing is, too, we say this every episode, too. If you've had any paranormal experiences and you don't, you're not comfortable with sharing them on our live threads, you're welcome to message me or Mr. Snyder. If you just want somebody to listen to, Time and Money and Human Concept, if we could spend years at one spot without hunger, imagine how many you could enjoy. Yeah, that was deep, but yes, I agree. So let's keep it more a little more relevant to the topics there, which is the spirit travel, and afterlife with this segment. We do appreciate your comments. So yeah, Elkie says, when you do a paranormal research and have identified a spirit, do you have someone on your team that helps them? No, Elkie, we do not do any of that. I can get in touch with some people, depending on the type of situation it might be. I know a demonologist, if it's a negative energy or demonic. And there's other, people in Wilmington that can do that. We do have a girl on our team that's good with sage and crystals that could do a cleansing. but not an actual, you know, getting rid.
I don't know what you'd call it other
Uh,
than an exorcist.
you know, just
cause the spirit to go somewhere else.
Right, a crossing over. I typically try to find out if they're wanting to get rid of a spirit. I try to find out if they're religious, and then what religion they are, and then I try to find somebody in regards to their religion. You know, if they're Catholic, I'll try to find a Catholic priest that'll go in and perform a ceremony, things of that nature, to help with that. Like I said, we are mainly monitors, researchers, debunkers, and that's basically it. And you know, and valid, and we help to try to validate things, or disprove things. We typically set out to disprove hauntings. That's our main format. You know, we're not, you know, we don't try to really do anything more than that. But in the process, sometimes things happen, and we have enough experience to determine whether it's, you know, whether we can disprove it or whether we feel it's supernatural in nature. So, hope that answered your question. Right? So yeah. Sorry about the. That was an interesting discussion with afterlife travel. Not sure that probably won't be discussing much that. I think that touched on a couple of people.
Yeah.
Maybe not in such a great way. So maybe have to lay back a bit on that. What's going on, Mr. Brandon Blanks has joined us.
Baby.
Hope you are having a good night. Our co-host, Mr. Blanks, has joined us, and we are happy to have you aboard there, sir. Hope you're having a good night.
And I got the red shirt on tonight, dude.
He messaged me and said that he wasn't feeling well just a little while ago. We were so engrossed in conversation with folks, I hadn't had a chance to mention that. So, all right. So we're going to switch gears because that was an interesting segment. So we're going to get into our last segment for the evening, which is our going to be talking our equipment segment for the night. We use well, I don't really use one. I have one, but I don't use it. There's a piece of equipment that paranormal investigators use called Spirit Box, and I guess this is maybe based kind of like off the white noise theory or static X or static theory. Basically, what this does is basically like you're scanning radio frequencies, constantly scanning radio frequencies, holding down a button that scans radio frequencies during an EVP session to hope in hopes to have the to create a real-time voice phenomena so you can actually communicate with spirits in real time and hear it with your own ears instead of on a recording device. So I'm going to show you the one I have. This is a ITC research device. Not a whole lot to look at really, and basically you just turn it on and you hold down the scan button on it, and then while you're doing an EVP, turn power on, you hold down the scan button, and then while you're doing an EVP session, you typically you'll have headphones on so you can hear better, or I will. Of course, for those that don't know, EVP session, electronic voice phenomena, is when we call out the spirits, and we have a question, a call and response. And we also try to be very specific in nature when we're doing that. That's just how we operate. And so we'll have an EVP session in hopes to answer have a spirit talk back to us. So I could say in real time. So I could say, can you tell us your name? And as I'm scanning, you'll hear that my name is Tom, or whatever the spirit's name is. I just popped that just popped in my head. So now, I have heard that people have had luck with these, have gotten results with these things. I've only used this a couple of times. I've never personally gotten any results out of this particular device. There's all kinds of spirit boxes out there. And should we use them? Do you have a problem with these?
No, Boob's got one, and I don't know that she's ever gotten anything on it either, but she's used hers a lot. So if she's still on here, she can tell us if she ever had any results with hers.
I think she has. I think she has.
I want to say she has, but I don't remember. I do know that she's used hers a lot.
Right. There are paranormal investigators. There are paranormal investigators out there that are kind of somewhere on the fence about this particular device. I won't say a lot. Some don't agree with any real time experiences. I don't really have a problem with it. It's kind of controlled because it's such a low energy type device. Especially as long as you've done your research first and you know exactly who you're trying to communicate or what you're trying to communicate to, who. I won't say what, who. I wouldn't have necessarily a problem with it. It's not like Christopher, what's going on, brother? We're about to wrap this up. Actually, we're talking about Spirit Box, the ITC research device. I personally, like I said, I've never gotten anything out of that device. I know people that have. I don't really have a problem with paranormal investigators using them, just because it's not a big energy maker per se, like an EMF pump.
Right.
It's a lot more controlled. I wouldn't use it just because I just feel like I've never gotten anything out of it, and it's more time consuming to me than what it's worth on investigation. So, but if you do use them and you have gotten some results from them, I would say them doing it in a of course in a professional manner. So yeah, that's the ITC research device, the Spirit Box, otherwise known as the Spirit Box. There's other kinds of Spirit Boxes out there. Again, I don't have. You don't have a problem with them. You don't have a problem with anybody using them?
I don't. Booby uses hers,
and
I think she has had luck with it. It's just that she's got the same thing.
Yeah, she has. Booby being that's his daughter. That's Bailey. Right.
Her real name's Bailey.
Right.
But she's. I'm almost positive she's gotten several results in it because she would come to me and she'd say, "Daddy, look," and it's on her recorder.
Right.
And it's just cool.
Right. Yeah, and like I said, so if you want to try it out, they're not that difficult. They're not that expensive. They're not that difficult to learn and use. There's all kinds of editorials on YouTube with these devices. Just wanting to try something new, I would suggest giving it a shot. I just, like I said, personally have not had any results, gotten any results with them. Bedtime for me, great show. Thank you, Vincent, man. I appreciate that.
Can't wait to meet you, dude.
What's going on, Brian? Yeah, we're about to wrap this up too. Thank y'all so much. We had some really good discussion. I'm going to go back and check the video on this to see if there was any audio problems. None of my audio, all of my audio for all of mine. All of our audio for tonight's podcast was great. Still going. No problems there. And so I'm just going to go back and double check the video on this, and I'm hoping that we didn't have any problems. So that was it. We just wanted to go over this particular device tonight for our equipment segment, and we're going to be bringing those equipment segment back up. Mr. Blank, hey, Brian Saws, what's going on, buddy? Long time no see. I hope all is well. We're just getting ready about to wrap this one up for the night. If you're chiming in late, it's okay. We don't care. Please go back and watch this video. Hope you all enjoy it. Give us some likes and give us some loves. Well, we've learned a few things tonight, though.
Oh yeah.
So we'll be knowing what to do and what not to do on these episodes.
Religion's scary.
Yeah, yes,
What the hell was that?
that was just something on my laptop notification. Great podcast today. Thank you guys. Thank you, Elkie. Thank you so much for joining in. We love having you on here. And yes, we appreciate everybody, even though we might have touched on a couple of subjects that were
And absolutely didn't mean to upset him.
Yeah, man. We hope
our goal.
we hope that we didn't ruffle any feathers. If we did, we apologize. So we will adjust accordingly. So I hope everybody has a great week, and thank y'all so much for watching. If you're interested in this type of device for any paranormal investigations, you can get them anywhere, eBay, Amazon. I'm not sure how much they are. I think I paid like $20-$30 for mine.
And there's a website specifically for these.
Yeah, I typically go to
There you go.
ghosthunterstore.com.
That's the name of it. I couldn't remember
Just
the name.
because they're they're not a big chain or anything. So not there's anything wrong with that either. That's
No,
what I
but
like
they're
going to.
affordable, and that's where Booby gets most of her stuff.
Yeah, and they test all their equipment.
I just couldn't remember
So
the name.
I like that as well. So, but anyway, we're about to sign off. I appreciate Mr. Blanks. Appreciate you chiming in, and we're glad to have Mr. Blanks as an official co-host, even though he couldn't be here tonight. I hope he gets better soon. And also, too, if you can, check out www.capefearsoulseekers.com. Check out our website, videos that Mr. Dustin Ivy keeps up for us. And looking forward to keeping y'all posted on all kinds of stuff going on with Soul Seekers show. And just lots going on, y'all. October's going to be busy. Jeff Snyder, co-host for tonight as well.
Do yourself a favor and get yourself a cat.
And question everything. Appreciate y'all chiming in. Have a great night and a great week. We'll see y'all next Sunday. Love y'all.